Hi, and welcome to episode 28 of the Passionate Spinner podcast. My name is Tracy. You can find me as Schnüffeltier on Ravelry and Instagram and Pinterest. There's a Ravelry group for this podcast. It would be awesome if you can come over and join. We reached the 100 mark on there, and thank you so much for everyone who joined recently. It's just great, and I want to get the group, involved and going and fun. There's a blog for the podcast where I do link the indie of the week each week. And thank you so much for being here. And thank you all who watched the whip shaming. I did that, I think, a week ago or so. And of course, I started something new since then. Because let's face it, 26 is way better than expected. I did ask my husband what he thought, how many whips and UFOs I had laying around. And he said 53. So I did call my dad and told him what a jerk my husband was and said, "What do you think?" And he said, "Well, I'm sure it's between 50 and 60. So, you see, they think way worse of me than I really am. So, I have to get, going on my reputation. So I just started something new. Okay. I have a ton to talk about. Everything here is full of stuff. My show notes are like packed. And I'm working with a new camera today. My husband got me a new camera. I'm working with a new program as well. And I really hope I will not screw this up and have to do it twice because I'm not sure if I'm up to that. So let's hope this will work. I'm wearing today something hand knit for the first time in forever, I think. It's a little triangle shawl. It hasn't been blocked in ages, so it looks a little bit weird. This is called Cassandra. The pattern is by me. It's just a simple triangle shawl with a little bit of lace, a little bit of cables. So if you are new to shawl knitting, you can go ahead and do it. And like I said, I haven't blocked this in forever, so I'm just gonna tie a little knot in here so it will stay. Okay, my pattern. Go ahead, check it out. It was, I think, my second pattern that I ever released, and of course it's for free. So if you want to get into knitting a shawl and you don't want to deal with a whole lot of stuff, I think it's a nice way to start. Now, knitting in the past. I finished a pair of socks. I showed those, I think, twice before. These are, for me, they are knit with 64 stitches, top down, just my usual vanilla sock pattern on US 2s, 2.75 millimeter needles. I'm a very, very tight knitter. So here they are. The yarn, I have that much left, which is quite a lot. The yarn is from Republic of Wool, and I have no idea if this will work. Believe me, it says wool on there somewhere. Here, Republic of Wool. The colorway is called Lost and Found. It's a, as you can see, superwash merino nylon blend. It was awesome to knit. Republic of Wool, she has an Etsy store. You should follow her on Instagram because she knits the most colorful and amazing things ever. I wouldn't be able to wear them. I could not pull that off, but she looks so gorgeous and everything. So here are my socks. German 38. And my dear Zadie, I did try to find out what size that is, and I found this little spreadsheet here. And it's, I'm not sure if this will work at all. So I'm wearing a German 38, which according to this here is a US 7.5 for me. But my husband wears a 45 and my dad a 46, and those are the three people I knit for primarily. So a 45 is a US 11, and my dad has 46, which is a US 11.5. So teeny tiny socks for me, elephanto socks for the man in my life. And I'm fearing that Tim will have huge feet whenever he, grows up a little bit. So, okay, socks done. I finished those last year, so they will not be the first pair for 16 and 2016, and I'm going to talk about that later. So finished them last year and did cast on some new socks immediately. I'm going to show those now. So we're knitting in the present. I did start, and I showed those in the whip shaming. I started the leftover socks from Eric the Viking, and I'm at the heel turn. I started the heel turn like yesterday night, and I just couldn't go on, so this looks a little bit weird. That's the second sock. This is the first sock. I'm going to put it on a blocker. We had knitting and spinning club yesterday at my house, and I just wasn't feeling spinning. I didn't want to spin, so I knit. I started around here, I would say, and knit all of that. So I'm a fast knitter too, I should say that. This is the first sock. I'm using different leftover sock yarn. I don't know for sure what it is. I mean, I know for this stuff here that I'm using for heels and toes, it's from Aktiv Garne. It's a German commercial yarn that's not very expensive, but it's nice to work with. Like, you know, Patton's Croy maybe. Not as thick as Patton's Croy, but, you know, in the what it is kind of thing. So I'm using that for heels and toes. And this here that I'm using for the main sock, I think is Schoppelwolle, because they don't only do the Zauberball, they do real sock yarn as well. And I'm pretty sure that this is one of theirs. And it's great to work with. I love their normal sock yarn. So I'm one sock down. The second is at the heel. Will be done within the next few days, I think. So it's in the Bling Your String Christmas bag, and I'm not gonna switch that out just because I'm going to finish those in time, so it's not weird to have a Christmas bag laying around. Okay, go in here. Socks for me, my usual 64 stitches, top down, US 2s, all the normal stuff. The other thing that I'm working on is a cardigan for Tim. It's the Jones cardigan. It's by Tin Can Knits. I have the pattern here, but my printer ran out of color, so I'm gonna show this page because it's the best I can do. It's just a normal cardigan with a nice shawl collar, which I don't like for men really, but as my man, this man here I'm working for, is so teeny tiny, I'm good with that. So this is what it looks like. It's knit in one piece. I'm about an inch away from, or half an inch away from dividing for backs and fronts and back. This is what it looks like. It's so cute. I just want to knit on this all day long. And, you know, if I would stretch this a little bit, it would be enough for, you know, a front or a back for me, for sweater. And I just love this. It's the yarn is so nice. It looks so cute. And I love that it's not so weirdly pooling so far. I hope this will not change after dividing the pieces, but it's a huge cake. I bought this at Color Bog Yarn and Fiber. She's on Etsy. If she still exists, I have no idea. It's the Blue Marble Twirly Bird. That's the Blue Marble is the colorway, and Twirly Bird is the, oh yeah, it's white. Twirly Bird is the base. It's a DK weight. It's 8 ounces and 560 yards. Is the effect of the yarn is accomplished by having the base be a superwash merino and non-superwash merino. So the two different types of yarn or of fiber take the dye differently. That's why it looks so marled. And it knits up beautiful, and I love it already. I will try to finish this maybe by next week because it's so cute and I just want to work on it all day long. I'm working with US 6, which is a 4mm needle, I think. So it's quite fast. And my, what's the word? Ball winder thing. It's over there. It died on me. Or it has been dying a very slow death for a year now, I think. And this time, when I was winding this, I just had to wind stuff around at the end by hand because it's too big. But it also tried to, no, it didn't try, it managed to steal my yarn away from me and, you know, get it in the screws. So I had to cut it to get it out. Yeah, not impressed. My mom gave me hers for now because I want to start a sweater and need to wind 10 balls of yarn, and I'm not going to do that by hand at all. So I'm in the market for a new ball winder. If you have any great recommendations, I'm looking for a wooden one, a nice wooden ball winder. Please let me know because I really want a new one and I need a new one. So okay, back to knitting. That's the Jones cardigan. The only other thing I'm working on is in 2 project bags because it's my leftover sock yarn blanket. I talked about this in the whip shaming. I am doing this log cabin style, but not like, you know, real log cabin where all the rounds are the same. Just I'm knitting whenever, wherever I want. So this is the piece I dug out first, and I started knitting again right around here, I would say, and knit all that stripe up, bound it off, and added, nope, not this one, this stripe here. I have 4 of those pieces going right now, and I have all of the pieces in a separate project bag, and all the project bags hold different leftovers, you know, and whenever I'm out of leftovers in that bag, I'm just gonna go to the next piece. So I was out on my leftovers here, so I decided to work on a different piece. This here is my leftover sock yarn blanket. I'm knitting it with US 3s, which is a 3.25mm needle, because I want it to be floofy and airy, and like I said before, I'm a very tight knitter. So this is gonna work great. This is my Kiki Boo bag. And now in a bag that I got from Sadie, like a ton of years ago, is my second piece that I've been working on lately. And I have several leftovers to go in this bag. It's the second fish block. I have 2 blocks with those fish in here and 2 without them. So this is what it looks like. I started knitting down here. No, I didn't. There was no needle attached to this. I started here. So that's where I'm working on right now. All of these pieces will be knit to a size of 65 by 80 centimeters. And whenever I reach that, I will seam them all together into one big blanket and knit one final border around somehow. I don't know yet how. We'll see. So I'm not going to show this all the time because I'm trying to work on it a lot. I will show it whenever I run out of leftovers in this bag and finish this piece. I will show it again and so forth. Okay, and that's it now for knitting in the present. Knitting in the future, I have a ton of plans because, like I said, it's only 26, 27 now, so I'm good. I'm going to start the Phaedra head, and I'm not sure if that's how it's said. It's how it's written, so. It's a pattern by Gudrun Johnston, and it's for the newest yarn from Brooklyn Tweed. I don't know what yarn that is, and I've never used that, but I have this nice yarn in my stash. It's from another crafty girl. It's her Aran weight. It's the Squishy Aran. in Violet Fields. And as you can see, this has been in my stash for way too long. So I'm going to use this yarn to knit that hat. And I think it's going to be very pretty. We'll go on the needles later today, maybe tomorrow. I don't know yet. Soonish. That's what I know. The other things I want to work on or want to cast on is, of course, the Ripple Rock. I showed and talked about this before. The Nordland cardigan with the Madelinetosh yarn that I have to wind. And I want to work on some socks. I took out this sock blank that I got from Fat Cat Knits, and I love Fat Cat Knits stuff. She has fatcatknits.com, and she also has an Etsy shop where she sells one-of-a-kind stuff. I think that's how it works. But her stuff is awesome. So I got this sock blank from her, and it's beautiful. It's greens and orange and my colors. It's just perfect for me. So this is gonna go on the needles absolutely surely this week. What I'm not so sure about is I got a sock blank from Gail's Art, and I wanted to use this for my Christmas Eve cast on, but it arrived at my house 2 days ago on New Year's Eve. So I'm gonna show you half of it. I'm not sure if I want to cast those on now or just wait and knit them next year or this year in December. I think that just makes a little bit more sense to me. So here's the tag. It's Gail's Art. It's one of her dyed and stamped on sock blanks, and it's called Special Secret Sock Blank, Christmas Era, or Christmas Tree. Christmas Tree. It says Christmas Tree. I'm sorry. It's single knit, single stranded, which means that I'm gonna have 2 different socks in the end. And yeah, I don't know. Should I cast it on now or just wait for next year or this year's Christmas? Because, you know, Christmas is here by that every year. So I don't know. This is going to be long. I'm sorry. Spinning. I did spin this week. I talked to you about how I wanted to sit down, watch all the Hobbit and all the Lord of the Rings movies in the extended version here in my room, and spin a sweater quantity on my mini spinner. And it still is what I want to do, because I'm still only on the 2nd Hobbit film, and I've not finished that one yet, so I have quite a bit of movie time to go. But I had started something on a mini spinner. It was the first spin ever that I did on that, and I had to finish it, and I did. So this is Three Waters Farm. It's hot and sweet. It was from her Top of the Month club. It's in Cardigan. And I spun and plied this on a mini spinner. I see that, or I learned that I still have to practice plying on there. But I do like how it turned out all in, you know, I don't know. It's 213 meters, 233 yards. I have 94 grams. And I really like it. I have no idea what I want to do with it. I'm not sure yet. I will stick it in one of my huge bins, and, you know, someday, inspiration will just hit me. Maybe I will give it away. I don't know. But I like it. It's different shades of red with a little bit of brown and some ochre. Is that a word? So that's a finished spin. It's washed and everything. I also finished, but haven't wound off, or, you know, I finished this one. It's spun and plied on the Bliss. It's a mixed PFL, and it's a traditional 3-ply, and it's a bulky weight. Like, it's really, really, really thick, which is what I wanted. I'm going to show it to you again next week, because I have to wind it off and, you know, estimate yardage and weigh it and wash it and all that stuff. So this will make an appearance next week. That's what I finished. I will start my sweater quantity on the mini spinner later today, because I'm going to film the bonus episode for dividing my fiber after I finish the podcast. So I will see you twice today, or you will see me twice today if you can bear doing that. Now, for new stuff. I got quite a bit of new stuff. I got a gift from a friend. It's hand spun. You know how I love hand spun, right? It's a superwash merino nylon blend. I did lend her. Is it lend? She borrowed my carder, and when she gave it back, she also gave me this skein of yarn as a little thank you. It will be something for around my neck. I don't know yet what. I think about some textured stitches. I don't know yet. We'll see. So that's a gift. I also got, where did I put it? Oh, it's down here. Let's take it upstairs. Or upstairs. On the table, I mean. I got some fabric as a gift from a friend. She came visiting yesterday and joined us for a knit club. I don't know yet what to do with it. I will find a great pattern somehow, someday. And I'm either gonna do knitting bags, or I will incorporate it in a quilt of some sorts. And then I did in my whip shaming, I showed you the huge baby bed full of stuff that I'm giving away or destashing. And when we had knit club yesterday, my friends dug in that bad, and one of them, she dies, and we traded. So I got this skein of yarn. It's a 75-25 sock yarn, but it's more like a sport weight. I also got 2 braids of fiber from her. This one is a BFL, and I love BFL. And it's 200 grams, which makes it big enough for something bigger. And I got this braid of fiber, and I forget what it was. I think it's a merino sea cell, maybe soy or bamboo. I don't know. I have to ask her again. So those were trades. And then my friend Leanne sent me this awesome basket for Christmas. And you see that? It has a bunch of bags on the outside, and they were all filled with stuff. And it looks like this on the inside. So she did send me not only this awesome bag, but also a skein of Misty alpaca yarn in green, because I love green. She did send me a ton of little ornament patterns, like a ton of them. Some stitch holders and scissors, and a little pouch with a very cute sheep on it. And here is another scissors from Lantern Moon. And this is this is beautiful. I'm not able to show you. I think it's a little black scissors. Can you see the texture structure? I don't know. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. You just have to trust me on that. So there also were a pack of Reese's Pieces, which always go to my husband. And there were some of those. She sent me those a while ago in a package, and I just love them so much, and I got 2 different ones. They are both amazing. I love those things. If you ever want to do something good for me, send me those, and I'm gonna be a happy girl. And she did knit me a little neck warmer. Oh, I could have worn this today. I'm such an idiot. No, I'm gonna wear it another time. It's just a very cute little neck warmer with a button in the back. It's awesome. And it's really soft. I don't know what it is, but it's awesome. And then I got this macaroon box, and I got this from my mom, together with a pair of gorgeous hand knit socks that I really wanted to show, but I wore them, so I'm not going to show them. I'm going to show them another time, maybe. So it's just, you know, just a box, but it looks like a huge macaroon, which I love. I love those things. And where I live, I cannot get those. I tried making them myself a few times, and I would say I'm not an idiot when it comes to baking. You know, I'm really good at that. But those things, they just, ugh, I can't do them. It's not working for me. Okay, so huge basket of goodness goes back down here because I have way more stuff to talk about and show to you. So, I have developed a little obsession with Pom Pom Quarterly. I had 3 magazines in my, bookshelf, and it was numbers 6, 7, and 8. And I just flipped through them recently, and I really have no idea why, but I dug them out and I went and flipped through them, and I just had to have all the Pom Pom magazines that I could get. So here's my little stack of Pom Pom. I ordered, what did I say I had? 6, 7, and 8. So I ordered 9 through 15 from their website, and I'm still shy on numbers 1 through 5. I could get them as a digital download, but I really want the real magazine. So if you, for some reason, have one of those and you don't like them, or you don't need them, or you just don't want them anymore, let me know, because I really want to have all of them. So numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I would love to have those. I marked what I like. I'm not sure if you can see. Yeah, if I do it like this, you can see. There's a ton of things that I marked in those. And also, there's not only knitting, there's one recipe in each of the issues. And there's a mushroom and ale pie in here in one of the magazines. And we did try this. We made this. The only thing I did, they use puff pastry for, covering the mushrooms and baking it. And I did do pie crust, like a savory, that's the word, right? Savory pie crust with parsley in it. And just, covered the dish, put in the mushroom filling stuff, and covered it all up. And it was so good. Oh, it was so good. I want to make all of the things out of those. Great recipes. So, Pom Pom magazines. It's also my indie of the week this week is Pom Pom Quarterly. I'm sure they are not really indies anymore because they are quite huge. But you should go and check them out. They have awesome patterns. They are just awesome magazines. Go have a look. I will link those in the show notes. Now, onto reading. I did read again. Finally. I was reading the C.C. Hunter Shadow Falls After Dark series, the second book. I'm kind of stuck on that, so I decided to just read something else that I really want to read. And I did. And I brought my Kindle because I read it on here. And I did bring on the cover. So I read this book. It's called Which Is When It All Began. It's by Adele Abbott. It's, like you can see, a witch PI mystery. It's if it were a real book, it would have around 200 pages. I checked, so 200 pages, something like that. It's the first in a series of, I think, 7 or 8, and they are all for free on Kindle Unlimited. Yeah, so I downloaded those and read this book in 2 days because I just normally this is something you can read in 1 day, really, but I just didn't have the time. So it's about a girl who's called Chill. And Chill is a PI because she inherited it from her adopted father somehow. And her birth mother contacts her and tells her that she's a witch. And that's about all she can say before she dies. And Chill just thinks that she's insulting her, and she's very angry about that. and she discovers that she really is a witch, so she has to deal with that and solve a murder case. So it's nice, it's fun, nothing really literally. Nothing like Shakespeare, let's say it like that. It's just some nice in-between reading if you don't want to think about stuff, or if you want to knit on your succulent blanket. Really, that's perfect. I have the the size of the letters on, not huge, I'm not that blind, but just a little bit bigger, because my Kindle is around here when I'm reading and I'm knitting. It's perfect for me. Normally I do prefer the real book. I really do. But there are just some books I cannot get for as real books, or I don't want to pay the money, because I could get those books as real books. They have nice covers and they would look pretty in my bookshelf, but they're 10 euros each. Or they are for free on Kindle Unlimited. So really, I don't have to think about that for a very long time. Not for something like this. If it's something I really want to have, like a perfect book, I will pay $20 or 20 euros for it happily. But no, not for that. Sorry. Okay, sewing. I did sew a box bag yesterday and gave it away, so I can't show that. I also did sew a little drool bib for my son, because it's amazing how such a tiny person can drool such a huge amount of drool. It's just unbelievable. That one is, covered in drool, and I think it's upstairs for getting washed. So the only thing I can show you for sewing is a quilt that I finished this week. I started this, I think in July, and I wanted to make it for myself. So I'm gonna show it to you first, and then I'm gonna talk about it. How's that? Do you see? This is the quilt that I made for my son. I know the colors are not for a boy, but like I said, I wanted to make it for myself. So here it is. I did use for this part that you can see right now the simple streamers quilt pattern that you can get on the Robert Kaufmann. I don't know how you say it in English. On his website, or on the fabric people's website from Robert Kaufmann, or Kaufmann, I think that's how you say it. So I did use that, and I just cut everything that was supposed to be in inches and centimeters, which, shrunk it down a ton. And that's exactly what I wanted. But the fabric that I used as the background fabric, this here, that's an old curtain. It's an old IKEA curtain. And I have not washed those pieces of fabric. And I just didn't know how it will work with the other fabric that's quilting cotton. So I did not want to risk sewing a huge quilt for me for throwing it away after the first wash. So I decided to finish it for Tim. I did add this checkerboard style stripe, and here just some leftover stripes. And it was like it was meant to happen like this, because when I decided to not finish it for me, I had already sewn on all the things you can see here and this over here. And I talked to my husband about this, and of course he has no idea what I'm talking about. He just listens and tells me what he thinks might be a good idea. And we decided that I'm not going to do it for me, I'm going to do it for Tim. So I did not have any batting left after doing all the Christmas quilts, but I really wanted to finish. So we have about a ton of baby blankets, the woolen style baby blankets that you have. And I used one of those as the batting. I did. And it's perfect because it's really warm. For the backing, I didn't want to use cotton, because we use this now for his night blanket. And I wanted it to be warm and snuggly, so I used polar fleece for the back. And it has this robot style print on it. And as you can see down here, there's a seam. I had a ½ meter of this. And I, it's like this, ½ meter. I cut it down here and seamed it back up together in the other direction. And it was exactly 5 centimeters on each side bigger than the baby blanket that I wanted to use. And the quilt top was like the same size than a polar fleece. So it was perfect. I didn't have to cut away a whole lot, and it just fit together. For the binding, I used the most ugly flannel ever. I got this in a surprise me package from a German quilt shop. I got a surprise me fat quarter package, and there were 3 flannel pieces in there, and just in ugly pastel-y baby prints. I used 2 of those fat quarters for lining the sleeping kicking bag that I made for Tim that we use when we go on walks. And the third one is here. I used it for the binding, and it was perfect. I had about this much left in the end. It was all meant to be. So, new quilt for my son. Very warm, very snuggly. I had it in the washer and in the dryer, of course, after I finished it. Survived everything. So, here's my awesome quilt label. Again, my drawing sucks. And I use those IKEA markers here. They look like this. And they don't have a fine tip, let's say it like that. It's impossible to make anything smaller than this. But I don't care. It says for Tim from Mom, December 2015. So I made that one, and we use it every night, and he loves it. So that's a win for me. Okay, now I need to drink a sip of coffee because my mouth is getting dry. I normally don't like to drink on camera because I make noises sometimes, so that would annoy me. So I have to sit up. Okay, that's it for sewing. Now, I'm on to everything else. I have 2 things that I've written down, but it will take a while. So, first up, 16 in 2016. Sadie and I, we decided to do a sock knit along between the 2 of us for knitting 16 pairs in 2016. I'm gonna knit, of course, some socks for me because that's what I do. And there will be socks for my husband, socks for my dad, and I'm gonna do some socks for Tim as well. But I think I'm gonna count 2 pairs for Tim as 1 real pair. Does that make sense for this challenge? Sadie, let me know what you think. Is that okay? Or should I just stick to the adult sized socks? Tell me. Also, I wanted to ask not only Sadie, but all of you, if you're interested to join in. If so, I will open a thread in the Ravelry group, and I will do some random giveaways every now and then. Sound good? Let's do it. Now, the biggest part of this podcast is my goals. It's the first podcast of the year, and I decided that I would reflect back on my goals for 2015 and just tell you if I managed or didn't manage. Just read it and say yes or no, because if I go into this at length, we'll be here for another hour, and that's just not what I want. So, my goals for 2015. First thing, stash down. Nope. No, not at all. That didn't happen. Use more patterns that I already own. I don't think so. No. Take out my UFOs and do a finish of frog. Nope. I did finish some and I did frog others, but all in all, no, didn't happen. Spin a sweater quantity for my husband. Nope. Knit a sweater for my husband. Nope. Knit Ellen Dart's Christmas tree. Nope. Use more handspun. I did do that. I used a lot of handspun last year for knitting. Sew more. Yes, I did. Definitely. And read more. I also did do that. But all in all, yeah, no. I didn't accomplish a whole lot. But new year, new me? No, absolutely not. New year, new goals. And I'm going to try to, meet a few of them by the end of the year. So I did write them down in my little notebook here. I have to find it. So I'm gonna, can you see that? That's page 1. And here's page 2 and 3. I'm just gonna try to rush through those because I think this already is my longest podcast ever. So the biggest thing on my to-do list or on my goals list for this year is use stuff that I own. Not only for when it comes to yarn, but also when it comes to patterns and fabric and tea, sweets, everything. Just use what I own. That's my biggest want to do thing. Then for socks, 16 and 2016, of course, I want to knit through some of my started things. I planned on doing a finish 2, start 1 type of thing. Maybe I will get through that. Maybe not. It would make sense, would it? I'm gonna try to do that. Finish 2, start 1. Now, I want to knit or finish 6 sweaters for myself this year. I started, I think, 5 or 6, so if I would finish all of that, that would be great. And I also am going to start the Norland soon, and in the Pom Pom magazines are a ton of things that I want to do. So this will happen. 6 sweaters for myself. Also, I want to do a little bit more designing this year. My plan is to publish 4 new patterns this year. And as I'm already working on 2 things, that should be doable. And I want to finish my husband's sweater. It's that big right now. And my husband's a little bit bigger than that. So, yeah. Now, for spinning, I want to spin up 2 sweater quantities and 20 braids of fiber. Not in one, but 20 braids of fiber separately, single braids, and 2 sweater quantities. For cross stitch, because I do cross stitch every now and then, I want to finish Rocky and the Apple Tree. I showed this in my very first podcast where I had started the tree, and I have not worked on that at all since then. And my first podcast was over a year ago, and it's a teeny tiny cross stitch, really. So I want to finish that. And I also want to finish the Once Upon a Time stitch sampler by Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery that I started 2 years ago, maybe. I have no idea. I need to finish it because it's really cute and I want to hang it in my reading room. So we'll see. For sewing, I'm going to sew a new purse for me. I want to finish all the started quilts, which are quite a lot, actually. I want to sew the Swoon quilt that I'm doing with Erin as a quilt along. And she's like almost done and I haven't even started yet, so I have to get going on that. I want to sew the Fancy Forest quilt for myself. I want to sew clothes for myself. I want to make a sailor top. I'm gonna do a jersey skirt. The natty top, it's a free pattern somewhere on the internet. I want to do a dress for summer, a corduroy pair of pants, and a corduroy skirt because I love that stuff. I love corduroy. Then I'm going to do a sailor top for my mom, a hoodie for my husband, 2 little rompers for Tim, 4, that's the plans. I want to make 4 softies or stuffies for Tim. And I want to make some orphan blocks for my orphan block quilt because I've been watching the tutorials by Musuri Quilt Company and they are awesome and I want to try everything. And I don't want to do 25 quilts. So I'm just going to do 25 quilt blocks and attach them to each other somehow. I don't know yet how, because I have to find a good tutorial on how to do those orphan quilts. Yeah, I will manage that. Now for weaving, because it's not enough on my plate already. I want to finish the big blanket that I started before we moved to our house, and we've been in this house for almost 3 years, so yeah, that needs to happen. I also want to make a small what's the word, table runner for my dining room table. I want to make some scarves, and I want to use just sock yarn scraps to try this out first. Weave on my small loom a piece of fabric and use that to seam wedge bags or box bags or stitch holders, needle cozies or whatever. I want to give that a try because that sounds great to me. And if I could manage to do that, that would make me very happy. So that's all the crafting goals that I have. For reading, I did write down stuff that I really want to read because I've wanted to read it forever and I just didn't do it. I want to read The Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. It's a fairy tale retelling series, and I think it's about, the first is Cinder, so of course it's Cinderella. Then there's Scarlet, which I think is Beauty and the Beast, but I'm not sure. There is something. I don't know the title of the third book. It's Cress. It's about Rapunzel, according to the cover. And the last book is Winter, and that's about Snow White. I really want to read those. Also, I want to read finally the Panem books. What they're called in English? The the Katniss and Peeta stuff. Mockingbird, Mockingjay. I don't know the English title. Hunger Games. That's it. I want to read the Hunger Games books because I have had those for ages and I just need to read those. Then I want to read the Silber trilogy by Kerstin Gier. It's German. The third book just came out and I want to read those. I want to finish the Outlander books. I'm still on the first book, really, and yeah, I have to get going on them. I'm reading those on the Kindle, so that would mean that I would maybe be able to finish my sock yarn blanket this year because these Outlander books are like ginormous. Also, I want to finish the Witch PI series because it's 200-page books there, just and you're done. So yeah, those are my goals for 2016. Let's see what I can accomplish. I also did do a huge destash yesterday, and that felt great. It really did feel great to have all that stuff gone. So everything that's left will be put up on a separate Instagram account that I will set up whenever I find the time. Because at the end of January, my husband will be gone for 2 weeks. And I don't think that I will be able to mail anything in that time because I'm here with my baby. My dad will be here to help me. But no, I will not. I will not do that before then. I think I will put up everything when my husband's back home, which will be, February 1st. So we will do that. Okay, I think that's it. It's almost 50 minutes. It's ridiculously long. I'm very sorry. I will hopefully talk to you again next week with the finished pair of socks. Maybe not. And if you are interested in the sweater fiber combining whatever, I will talk to you in about half an hour. So let's do this. I hope you have a wonderful week. Enjoy everything you do. Bye.